How heavy should you lift in your 40s? This is a question we all need to ask unless you want to get hurt and set yourself back. I know for one, I can't lift the same way in my 40s as I was in my 20s and my 30s. So how do you know how to adjust your training in order to keep training for life? And in my opinion, that is the name of the game, longevity. If you don't care about lifting consistently into your 70s and 80s and looking great and feeling great, this video is not for you. I want to also guide you today with a couple practical tips you can implement in your training right now to ensure you can lift into your 70s and 80s without wear and tear and without having to have an ice pack on your shoulder the rest of your life.
First things first, we have to redefine heavy. Just like in the business world, as you accumulate more wealth, we have to redefine success. What if you're leaving all your relationships on the table in the name of more money, right? Then maybe that's not success to you anymore. Well, in the gym, we have to redefine heavy, or you could end up getting hurt. So what was really light for you in your 20s could be really heavy right now, and vice versa. So for me, when I was on the TRT and I was doing a powerlifting program, I remember bench pressing 225 for over 20 reps. I got up to 185 on my shoulder presses. I got up to close to actually 500 on a deadlift. I can't do that right now. So I have to redefine heavy. That doesn't mean I can't shoot for that or I can't build a program and have that as a goal. But if I immediately associate my success in the gym with the same amount of weights that I did before, then I'm going to be discouraged. So let's apply heavy to different variables of your training. The first one is the speed that you lift. When you're in your 20s, you can get away with swinging stuff because your joints are so healthy, you're not going to pay for it. But when you're in your 40s, your joints have already experienced a lot of wear and tear, so you need to slow down the movements. We can't swing stuff. We have to squeeze the muscle. So write that cue down. Don't swing the weights anymore. Squeeze the muscles. In fact, when you squeeze the muscles, the weights will probably feel just as heavy or heavier than when you're in your 20s. Number two, we're going to increase our rep range. So if you're used to doing like sets of 3, sets of 5, that's low reps. Low reps when you're in your 40s is going to be maybe sets of 8, sets of 10, all right? Because your ability to recover from that, and your muscles might be fine, but your joints might take a lot longer to recover to sets of 3, sets of 5, versus sets of 8 to sets of 10. So on a general standpoint, increasing your rep ranges is going to help you put more tension in the muscles and less risk of injury. Next, if you want to continue to see improvements in your strength, we need to factor in more deloads. And I know this is a boring subject matter. People say, I don't need a deload. I recommend a half a week every 6 weeks and a full week every 12 weeks. Even if you don't feel like it, because you have other systems in your body, your hormonal system, your immune system, your central nervous system, those systems need downtime. Those deload weeks are going to preserve your longevity. You're going to look back and thank yourself. Next, which isn't specifically related to heavy, but in order to continue to lift in the gym and do challenging things, we need to adapt the exercises. What does your body have available in terms of range of motion? What injuries have you experienced in the past? And understand that your body doesn't know what exercise you're doing in the gym. So as we go, we have to start to find the exercises that apply tension to the muscles that we want to challenge, but not create harm. It's kind of like investing us into a stock. We have to make sure that stock we're investing to is creating a return on investment. Not every stock is a wise investment, just like not every exercise in the gym is a wise investment of your time. We just have to accept that we just can't get away with certain movements just because they were popular movements or claim to be the better movements. Your body doesn't know that. Next is when you're in your 40s, be careful who you train with. The tendency is to see if you still got it, right? To test yourself. That's what all us dudes love to do. And there's definitely a time and place for that, but not at the expense of blowing out your hamstring, blowing out your back for a 1 rep attempt. So be smart, all right? You had your glory days in your 20s. We're all trying to figure ourselves out. 30s, you're still trying to prove something in your 30s. That's a different concern. But when you're in your 40s, you got to be applying wisdom to what you've learned from your past. What's impressive is if you're injury-free, you're consistent in the gym, and you look strong, you feel great, you got great energy, and it's because you're training smarter and you've got that long game in mind. Lastly, the most personalized element is recovery, all right? If you're not recovering from your workouts, then they're doing more harm than good. So you got to figure out that sweet spot for you. For me, it's 2 upper workouts and 2 lower workouts per week. That is the sweet spot. It gives back to me. It doesn't take from me. I'm in a season of my life where I've got my kids half the time. I got to be present with them. I got to take them out on activities, Canada's Wonderland and ski trips. And I got to have energy also to support my team and for all the life changes I'm going through. So the workouts can't put me in the toilet. If your workouts are putting you in the toilet, it means that they're taking more than they're giving you, and use that as a guideline to whether or not you're hitting a body part too often. Just to wrap this up, redefine heavy. Once you're in your 40s, you got to redefine a lot of things in life. Success, what a great physique looks like, etc. And there's no shame in doing that, especially when you're setting yourself up for the next 40 years. The goal is to look good in your mid-40s. The goal is to look great in your 70s and 80s. You got to have that long view perspective. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How do you define heavy? What are your thoughts on this subject matter? Let me know below. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, level up or you're going to level off.